You trusted them, maybe with your time, your money, or your vulnerability. And then they showed you who they really actually were. And the worst part, you actually saw it coming. There were many signals, you just did not read them right. So here's the thing, most of us are actually pretty bad at reading people because it is really challenging. Not because we are not smart people at all, no, but because we are hoping, we are projecting, we are reading their sort of so-called potential instead of their patterns, right? In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you 3 signals you are probably misreading right at this current moment. You know, a signal that shows up in hiring, relationship, mentorship, pretty much like everywhere else. And more importantly, how to read what's actually there instead of what you actually want there.
Nhom is all I need, yeah, it's all I need.
Before we get into signals, let's be honest about why we misread people in the first place. Now, when you think about it, we misread people because reading is hard. It's really difficult to sort of kind of look at patterns, right? Assessing character, real actual character, takes time, and it takes paying attention to small details, small things, small inconsistencies, and small choices when no one is actually watching. But we are usually in a hurry. We need someone to fill a role. We need someone to trust so quickly. We need a friendship to work out right at this moment. Even though that's not what we say, it does always come across that way. So instead of reading people, we instead interpret them. We see what we need to see. We read their energy, their words, their charm, and we call that character, which is very different. But charm isn't character. Charm is actually deceitful. Likability isn't trustworthiness, and good intentions aren't the same as a reliable action at all. The second reason we misread is because we are pattern matching to ourselves, right? If you are someone that shows up consistently, you assume consistent people are trustworthy people across all board. So every time you find somebody consistent, you think that they're trustworthy. If you are someone that makes promises that you keep, you assume someone who's charming is probably honest too, right? You're not actually reading them at all. You are actually reading yourself into them, into their lives, into whatever it is, into their space, right? And the third reason is maybe one of the hardest thing for us to admit, which is we want to be wrong about that person. We want this person to be who exactly we think they are. So when we see a signal that contradicts that, we minimize it, we reframe it, we give it another chance. We have this hopefulness. That's not discernment at all. That is hope masquerading as judgment. Now, as I said earlier, the first signal you are misreading someone, you're confusing likability with trustworthiness, right? These two are not the same thing at all. Some of the most likable people you'll ever meet are absolutely deeply untrustworthy. They come across as warm, they remember your birthday, they ask good questions, they seem like they're really interested in you, they make you feel really seen, and then all of a sudden they talk behind your back, or they disappear when things get hard all of a sudden, or they can easily become kind to you while being very cruel to people who don't have less power. Likability is a skill. Trustworthiness is actually a pattern. Here's how to tell the difference. Look at how someone treats people who can't do anything for them. Look at how they behave when they think no one is actually watching, or when their stakes are low and there's no benefit to being quote unquote nice. A likable person will charm you. A trustworthy person will show up consistently, even when it costs them, even when nobody is keeping scores. So I want you to ask yourself, does this person keep small commitments? Do they follow through on like tiny promises that they've actually made, showing up on time, remembering what you told them, doing what they say they would do? How are they showing up in your life? Now, not, people can't be perfect and you can't always do, but you feel it in your heart and in your soul, the difference. Because there is always like that patterns, right? People who are trustworthy in small things are usually very much trustworthy in bigger things. When life happens, when bigger things happen. And the thing is, people who cut corners in small, tiny stuff will definitely cut on the bigger stuff later on. That is for sure. So if someone is actually charming but unreliable, like in small things, if they're kind of like feels warm but flaky, or charismatic but always feel like you are almost like chasing them, that is actually a signal. That's not the person being stressed or going through something. That's actually a pattern that they're actually showing you. Likability without trustworthiness will hurt you every single time. Now, the second signal, you're mistaking consistency in one area for consistency everywhere else. Someone can be absolutely incredible discipline at work and completely unreliable in relationships. They can be honest about like sort of big things and lie about really like small ones. They can be generous with money but stingy with their time. Like there's this weird inconsistency, right? They can be sort of like kind to people they respect and so dismissive of people that they don't. We see someone like excel in one domain and we assume that the character actually transfers over. It doesn't always, because it depends on that person and what they're perceiving they're getting out of it, right? So you pick up those particular patterns, because a real character isn't domain specific or isn't specifically focused on one field of area. It's basically how you choose to show up in different sort of like contexts, how you treat people who have, say, nothing to offer you, how you behave when you're tired, when you're stressed, or even when nobody's actually paying attention to you at all. And so here's what to watch out for. Does this person have the same value in private as they show in public? Do they treat, say, the typical, say, waiter the same way as, say, they would treat a CEO? Like, what's their attitude towards that? Like, that's a pattern that you're looking at, right? Do they actually keep promises to their inner circle, and also those people who, well, they're not obligated to keep promises to? So if someone is great at work but their personal relationship is completely a disaster, that's not a personal life problem at all. That's actually a character problem. They've chosen where to invest their energy, and that's a big signal. And like, if you think about it, if someone is generous like with their network but somehow manipulative with their family, that's actually a signal. If they're honest about the sort of kind of the big picture but lie about the details, that's also a signal too. Watch out for those like weird inconsistency that makes you feel like you gaslight yourself, because people who put their characters in boxes are telling you exactly who they are. They're just hoping you're not paying close enough attention. That's what they literally are. The third signal, and this one is personal for a lot of us, you're reading their potential instead of their patterns. They have so much potential. This is how our mind goes. They could be great if they just to do this. They just need to get the right opportunity and blah blah blah, and maybe they do this and whatever. All those things and all those excuses that we're giving, that's not discernment. That's actually hope. When you're reading someone's potential, you're actually reading your belief in them and their ability to change. So it's not necessarily about them. You're actually projecting your own growth onto them instead of assessing who they actually are right at this current moment. And here's the hard truth, right? People show you their patterns over time. And the thing is, their pattern is the most honest thing about them. Not their words, not their intention, not their potential, their actual pattern. So here's what to do. So instead of asking who can they become, ask who they are being right at this current moment. Look at the last 6 months or a couple of months, the last year. Look at their decisions, right? They've made over time. Look at how they've sort of kind of responded when things got hard or seems a bit hard. Look at where they've actually, sort of changed when they said, oh, they would, or if that's still like sort of kind of in potential area category. And here's the part that can really hurt the most. Sometimes the pattern is that they are not ready. They are absolutely not stable. They're not trustworthy yet. And that may be very true. But until their patterns actually changing, you are betting on their potential. And potential is absolutely not character at all. If you're constantly giving someone another chance because of their potential, you're not actually reading them. You're reading your own hope. So how do you actually read people clearly? 3 practices that we're going to look at. First, slow down, right? You do not have to decide today. Real character shows itself over time. Watch for pattern across multiple contexts and over time. Don't make big trust decisions on the first impressions or on a random gut feeling. See how that unfolds. Number 2, look at the small things, right? How do they treat people when it doesn't actually matter? How do they actually keep small commitment? Are they keeping the small commitment? What do they actually do when nobody's actually watching? Small things reveal true character faster than big moments. Thirdly, notice what you are hoping for. If you're hoping someone is trustworthy, if you're hoping that, sort of they've changed, if you're hoping they will say, show up, pause for that moment, that hope is a blind spot. Read what's actually already there, not what should be there or whatever it is, like what's actually there in your face that moment. Discernment is actually not paranoia at all. It's not assuming the worst. It's clearly seeing. It's reading what's accepting and making decisions based on reality and not potential at all. You trusted them, and maybe you learned something. Maybe the signal was always there. You just was not reading it yet. And the good news is you can get better at this. Discernment is a skill. It takes practice, but it is learnable. If this landed, subscribe, because we love talking about different topics around identity, resilience, and all of that. And I get excited when you guys are here and commenting. Until then, read carefully, trust slowly, and don't mistake potential for character.